So good evening once again, Thursday evening as always. We are on the 16th of Jan 2020, 8:30 p.m. We are on our mentorship online live class where we talk about the markets and then we take up each and every trades of your doubts. Before I start today's session, I would like to share three news, important news with you. Number one is we will be conducting this evening class, doubt clearing class of mentorship traders from Thursday to Wednesday, starting next week. The reason for this is we already do a live market doubt clearing session on Mondays and Fridays. So Thursday night and Friday morning becomes a back-to-back, doesn't add a lot of value. So we will have start of the week Monday, midweek Wednesday, and end of the week Friday. So starting next week, we will have this evening session on Wednesdays, 8:30 to 9:30. That's number one. Number two, a few of you would probably know that I've been troubled by something called CSR on my right eye, which actually made it very difficult for me at times to look, to view. There was essentially a visual disability. Now, I'm quite happy, and you'll also probably join me, that over the last 7 to 10, 12 days, I've seen distinct improvement in that. And I'm sure that I'll be able to participate in the market and look at the screen much more than what I was able to do over the last month. So I'm sure my activity will increase. That's number two. And number three is mentorship traders meet for West India is coming up next month on the 14th of February. That's your Valentine's Day. You can make me your Valentine and block your calendar. Details I'll share with you. It's a Friday and you will be joining me during live markets, and from 9:15 to 3:30 we all will be trading with real money together. Details will follow. All right. Okay, so those were those informations to be shared. Now let's get back to business. Nifty weekly chart, as always, we start with a top-down approach. What do we have? The trend is your friend till at the end it bends. So we have an ongoing trend. Don't see any sign of momentum divergence. Don't see any sign of momentum exuberance of going overbought. So weekly charts are as pretty as you can expect them to be. Let the trend ride itself. Nothing much that we can take away from the weekly chart. No exceptions. So intermediate to long-term charts are fine. Come down to the daily chart, and we had drawn this rising blue channel. The index is approaching towards the upper border of the blue channel. There is a bit of intermediate divergence when I look at the RSI down below over here in orange. It's an intermediate divergence, which means that the markets will find it a little difficult to find enough momentum, but it's dragging itself up, which is slow and steady uptrend. But the interesting chart is the 75-minute one time frame lower. Now you remember this is the channel that we have, and look how beautifully recently the markets are respecting the resistance, number one. And look, we had drawn this red horizontal line and we were expecting some support if the market comes down the previous highs. And how beautifully this time it has respected this level too. So it's always good to figure out, to find out that whatever is your anticipated or expected levels of supports or resistances, and the markets behaves exactly in the same way, it adds a lot of confidence on your, not only on your analysis, but the way you will approach your trades. So in the short term, when we look at the intraday charts, 75-minute charts, the market is approaching resistances, and we're looking at this range. Over here, candlestick chart traders will definitely find a shooting star, and the high of the shooting star is up here, which is close to 12,389, 390, so 12,400. This was 12,375. So we're looking at 12,350, 12,400 as the resistance band. On the downside, this has played its part. It has proven itself to be a support, so let's not doubt it. And we keep this as our immediate support. So 12,286, so a little below the 12,300. So we're looking at 12,300, 12,400, a 100-point range for the Nifty going forward. If it comes down until and unless 12,300 is convincingly broken, one should not go bearish. On the upside, because of the fact that the long-term charts, the weekly charts are very strong, we should not expect that the resistances will be strong because the higher time frames have enough headroom. So let's maintain our bullishness. Bullish definitely. Going forward for the next 2 days, can be a little cautious because the markets are heading towards resistances. Always good to buy on a dip, like these kind of short-term dips. But overall, our view remains the same. We maintain bullishness on the overall market. Bank Nifty. Starting with the weekly charts. So Bank Nifty 2 has managed to bounce back, but not move to a new life high, which the index, which the Nifty has. So it's lagging the benchmark Nifty, number one. On the weekly charts, I think we can let go of this falling channel because the market is more concerned with this rising channel, and we have proven levels of support down here. So we don't need that channel. It's gone now. Uptrend, yes. The underperformance is a little bit of worry. Let's see what we can find out from one time frame lower on the daily. Nicely within this red channel, which it is trading. The Nifty has touched the upper border of the red channel, which the Bank Nifty has not. So this is where the underperformance lies. If the underperformance continue, then this can slip further down. Wait a minute, do we look at a head and shoulder, like a left shoulder and a head and a right shoulder? That's definitely what pattern traders would confirm, and for that they need to break below this support. So this is playing out really, really well. What is playing out really, really well? We have a pattern which is bearish. We have a lower high, which is again bearish. And we have a proven support. Why proven? Because the markets has tested this level multiple times. So it's high chance that the Bank Nifty may try and test this again. Number one, it's going to take some time. Number one. Number two, if it breaks, then I believe majority of the traders who trade based on charts will go bearish on Bank Nifty, and that can be a trap. So that's a little far-fetched. Means in terms of price, it's significantly lower. It's around 31,100. In terms of time also, it's going to take a little bit of time to reach there, I feel so, because the overall market sentiment is still fairly bullish. So an interesting setup on the Bank Nifty, which is bearish, is shaping up. 75-minute charts, what do we have? We were looking at this resistance. Bank Nifty broke above this and couldn't maintain to stay above this for long, and now it has dipped down below. So trend lines on and redrawn. If you follow basic technical analysis, one thing which conventional players always told us, that you should be drawing and redrawing your trend lines so that it holds on to the trend. So this is the new one that we can keep. The old one, it broke out but couldn't sustain, and nothing much that we can take away from this right now. We cannot draw any channels, though I can draw a falling channel using the RSI. Yes, definitely I can do that, and that would be something like this. this. So I'm going to give it a little bearish tinge to it, make it a little reddish. There you go. So this is the falling channel within which I expect the Bank Nifty to trade. Surprisingly, there's not much difference between the trend line and the channel border. So this is the resistance and this is the support, the 31,000, 31,100 support zone for the Bank Nifty. Now, I'll end our analysis by saying that we are heading towards a very interesting time because the Bank Nifty needs to catch up with the Nifty. Okay, so this is that falling channel which we drew on the 75-minute chart is showing on the daily. Trading view users can change the visibility, so I'm going to untick the daily. It will not show on daily anymore. So coming back to the point is we are heading towards interesting times where Nifty is showing pretty good strength. It's on a nice rally. No sign of concern from there, but definite. One, Bank Nifty is underperforming. Two, Bank Nifty is shaping up a bearish pattern. Three, Bank Nifty has made a lower high. So it seems that banks and Bank Nifty per se, which has almost more than 31% or 32% weightage on the overall markets, is slowing down. So two cases comes. Number one, Bank Nifty needs to catch up with the Nifty, which means that it needs to bounce back. If that doesn't happen, this underperformance will continue. So case number two, Bank Nifty will fall further down. And if Bank Nifty falls further down, Nifty will show that impact and it will also come down. It's going to be really interesting going forward, couple of weeks ahead, but let's stay bullish and expect that the Bank Nifty will catch up because the overall environment, the sentiment seems to be fairly strong. All right, so we'll end our Nifty Bank Nifty analysis this evening by saying that we continue to be bullish. Tricky times coming ahead. All eyes will be on Bank Nifty, and because you'll be watching on Bank Nifty, I'll strongly suggest keep an eye on HDFC Bank, keep an eye on ICICI Bank, and of course on State Bank of India. All right, so there we go. Index analysis is done with. Let's start with your doubts and questions, the trades that you did this week. Please ask.